Okay. Um. All right. Um. Our people has a Caucasian, a so-called. Our people has a Caucasian, a so-called Caucasian, a so. I mean, excuse me. Our people has a so-called white Caucasian mindset. Our people has a so-called white Caucasian mindset. Now, when I say so-called white, the white man is not white. They red. That's the proper color. Read Genesis 25:25, and that would be the context of what I just said. All right. Now, earlier, about almost seven, probably 7 hours ago, I did a video talking about dress code, raising your kids, and how I was speaking and talking to a elderly woman about chastisement code, which is a law that's in the Bible that you should discipline your children. So I consider it a debate question, a debate statement. It really it was a manipulated. It was to actually manipulate. Now this is no shade throwing that. I believe in respecting our elderly people. I do. I didn't. I'm not in no ways gonna do that. Disres, disrespect the elderly. But I was speaking to an elderly person today in the neighborhood, and we were just talking like we always do. And I was talking about really the differences in between the so-called white race and the so-called Black and Hispanic and Native American race, which I'm going to be reading from the book of Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha, chapter 33, verses 1 through 9, verses 1 through 11. Ecclesiastes chapter 33 from the Apocrypha, verses 1 through, through 11, verses 1 through 11, verses 1, I'm going to say through 11. Yeah, Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha, chapter 33, verses 1 through 11. This is going to cover the ground why so-called Caucasian people, or so-called white people, you want to call them, why they don't discipline their children, and why it seems like in their culture their behaviors are very different from ours. Now, if you see a so-called black man, for the most part, um, even if they are living in the world, or they doing drugs, or if they are out there doing their thing in and out of the system, like the so-called white man put our black fathers in the prison, Hispanic and Native American fathers in the jail system, while the single parents raising the children. Now, even when the so-called black man is in his deepest of whatever, it is still within his brain, because within our brain is because you have to understand Esau, so-called white man's brain, they don't have a natural God-fearing brain. They don't. That's why they can think. That's why they think the way their nature it is when they see a so-called black or Hispanic or Native American person or a person of color, as you want to say, they natural instinct saying, if they don't act right, I'm gonna put my knee on their neck. I'm here to get blood. When I pull him over, my aim, when I go to work and work on this police force, my aim is I want blood. It's got to be blood. It's got to be some kind of race, racist reaction because it's part of my nature. Now, if a so-called black man see his daughter or his son or whatever took a L twerking his daughters and stuff like that, even if this so-called black man, Hispanic and Native American man is doing drugs, it's still gonna, in their nature, that natural instinct, even in their drug use, is going to say, hold it. I do not want my child or my daughter, especially my daughters, doing this. This is fucked up. Goddamn, I know that I ain't never been there for my child. And I know I ain't never whatever. But for my child is to be on here doing all this shit, it'll make him want to tab some shit. Like, what the hell is going on here? Even in the midst of their wickedness. But Esau, not Esau, Esau will be up there. This is how a general idea of what Esau would say. Well, you can't force nothing on children. You got to let them grow up. And, if they decide to be a homosexual, if they decide to want to twerk or whatever, so on and so forth, they have a right is to choose whatever it is that they have the right to choose. I don't have no control over them. They can choose how they want love to be given to them, whether it's through the same sex, whether it's through the same whatever. That's how they see it. You see what I'm saying? But because they don't have that natural godly instinct in their brain, they can't. It's impossible. That's why when you debate with a so-called white person, his brain, their brains cannot comprehend the spiritual part of it. Because if you tell somebody like a so-called black man, or Hispanic or Native American man, we gonna look at that and we gonna be like, what the fuck? Huh? We gonna grind your ass for saying some shit like that. We like, nah, nah, homie, nah, nah, not me. I might be doing this shit or drugs or whatever. I might be doing this thing. But when it comes to if I'm around, nah, this ain't happening. This ain't happening with my child, my children. Oh no, because it is a natural man. God created that and made our people different from the so-called Caucasian man because we're just different on everything. We're different. We're not the same, and that's what separates. That's why when you read in the Bible in Leviticus, you may read, "Thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God." The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto Himself above all people. The word "holy" just simply means to be separate. Uh, Leviticus chapter 19, verses 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which says, "Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore." Things like that. Do not all that stuff. So it is naturally in our nature is to be pissed off if we hear about our daughters or our sons going astray like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about on average, for the most part. Now, what I want to do, I want to read a couple of verses. I'm going to start in Ecclesiastes chapter 33 and verse 1, all the way up from 1, Ecclesiastes chapter 33, verses 1 through 11, and you're going to get what I'm saying. Let's read. There shall no evil happen unto him that fears the Lord, What does it mean to fear the Lord? Keep the commandments. We'll get into that. But in temptation, even again, he will deliver him. When you keep the commandments, he'll deliver you. A wise man hateth not the law. That's what I just said. You don't hate the law. It because look, it is in our nature is to be spiritual. We like, wait a minute, this ain't right here. Listen to this in verse 2. Ecclesiastes 33, verse 2. A wise man heareth, though a wise man hateth not the law, but he that is an hypocrite therein is as a ship in a storm. 3. A man of understanding trusteth in the law. That's literally everything that I'm saying. A man of understanding trusteth in the law, and the law is faithful unto him as an article. That's the scriptures. I hope I said that right. The article. Verse 4. Prepare what to say, and so then shall be heard, and build up instructions, and then make answer. Build up instruction. That means gather information, build up instructions, and then make answer. The heart of the foolish is like a cartwheel. I think I'm saying it right. And his thoughts are like a rolling my bad on the X letter or whatever. Verse 6. A stealing, a steel lion horse is as a mocking friend. He, let's see here. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Naggers under everyone that setteth upon him. Verse 7. Why does one day excel another? As another, when as all the light of every day in the year is of the sun. Verse 8 of Ecclesiastes 33, verse 8. By the knowledge of the Lord they were distinguished, and he altered season and feast. Okay, he altered season and feast. Verse 9. Some of them had he made high days and hallowed them, and some of them had he made ordinary days. Okay, that is the very reason Yah, the Most High, told Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob not to marry from the land of Canaan. Okay, because he didn't want his chosen people to worship idol gods. Amen. That's right. That's right. I'm going to put that up on the screen. I like that. Yeah. All right. Watch this here. In all men are from the ground. All men are from the ground. This I'm reading from the Apocrypha. And Adam was created of the earth. Verse 11, here's the answer. In much knowledge, the Lord had divided them. Now, see, that's the reason why, that's what makes the Israelites different. That's why you hear the so called white man, they are talk and they'll say things like, well, I don't beat my children up over their sex preference and all this, and whatever they choose is, and you say, and you ask them a question. You say, wait a minute, I'm not asking you about an opinion. I'm asking you, do you care what God thinks? Well, um, I don't believe they're waiting answer. I don't believe in the Bible. I just believe in they want to focus on, and that's how you know that it's not in their nature. It says, in much knowledge, the Lord divided them. That's why this is what that reason why they're different. This is the reason why they're different. This is the reason why blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans live in a poor community, just like our people, us. We live over here in this in a different, diverse community. Diverse. Now listen to it. In much knowledge, the Lord divided them and made their way diverse, different. Some, verse 12, some of them had he blessed and altered, and some of them had he sanctified. Wow, that's it. Some of them he sanctified and set near himself, but some of them had he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. So this goes to show people trying to say that everybody is the same. But when you read the Bible is saying something totally different. Like, if, like, for example, you read something like in Deuteronomy 7 and 6, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above every other people. Then you read in Deuteronomy 32 and verse 8, he separated the sons of Adam. You see what I'm saying? So, and then he went on to say, he set the bonds of the numbers of according to the Lord's portion is his people. They said something like that. Yeah, Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. So when you read things like above all people, special, and things of that nature, why would he say a royal priesthood? Ye are a royal priesthood, a holy nation, right? So you can take examples like that, and you can say, if you really deeply think about it, that's saying that he has a favorite people. That's just like you, just like anybody else. They are you. Everybody got a favorite food, right? You may have a preference. It all boils down to a preference. You see what I'm saying? It's more like similar to a preference. You have, but if you might have 30 pair of shoes in your closet. There is one that you wear more than you wear the other ones. Why would you wear one shirt more than you would the other one? Think about that. Why would you wear one shirt more than you would wear the other? It means that you love that shirt more if they see you with, like, this shirt I got on, right? This shirt that I have on right here, not the black one, but this one. This is, out of all of the shirts that I have, this shirt is my favorite shirt. And I've been wearing this shirt more than any of the rest of them. I like the rest of the other shirts, but it just seems like this one here is more because it makes you feel more manly to me. You see what I'm saying? Than a lot of, I guess I'm weird at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't get me to put on those shorts that's too small, because going in too much you can see everything. No, because to me, I say that's like for a woman. You see what I'm saying? But God has a favorite people. Why would he say, let's go back to verse 11. Ecclesiastes chapter 33, verse 11. In much knowledge, the Lord divided them and made their ways diverse. He made their ways he made their ways different. Diverse means something that's different. When he diverse your ways, in much knowledge the Lord divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them had he blessed, and and ex hope I said ex aided or whatever, and some of them had he sanctified and set near himself, but some of them had he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places, as the clay in the potter's hand, to fashion it in his pleasure. So man in so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as like liken him best. Good is set, good is set against evil. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So in the godly against the sinner. The sinner, I don't know what that is. The sinner against the godly. The sinner gonna be against the godly. So God hates sinners. So look upon all the words, the workers of the Most High, and there are two, and two one against another. Now, I like the first part of this in Ecclesiastes chapter um, 33, verse 1. There shall no evil happen unto him that fears the Lord. Fear the Lord means you're going to keep the commandments. But in temptation, even again, he will deliver him. A wise man hateth not the law. He don't hate the law. He do not hate the law. But he that is an hypocrite therein is as a ship in a storm. A man of understanding trusteth in the law. He trusts in the law. Man of understanding trusts in the law. That understanding means you're going to keep the law. And in the law, and the law is faithful unto him as articles. You see what I'm saying? Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 4, and I think it's verse 37. Amen. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and let's see if what verse 24 is saying. For by speech wisdom shall be known, and learning by the word of the tongue, that means the mouth. In no wise speak against the truth. That's talking about that's going into keeping the law. But be abashed of the ignorance. Be not ashamed to confess thy sins, and force not the course of the river. Make not thyself an underline to a foolish man. Make not thyself as an underline to a foolish man. That means you got to be careful the company that you keep. neither accept the prison of the Almighty. Strive for the truth. Strive for truth. That means keep the commandments. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. That's that's right. Be not hasty in thy tongue and in thy deeds, slack and remiss. Be not as a lion in thy house, nor franklin, franklin amongst thy servants. Let not thy hand be stretched out to receive, and shut when thou shouldest repay. There is so much stuff in here that teaches you. Now, this is what we're gonna have to do too. Look what the Bible says here. Ecclesiastes chapter 6 from the Apocrypha, chapter 6 and verse 13. Separate thyself from thy enemies and take heed of thy friends. So the Most High says you got to separate from Esau. He tells you to separate. He didn't say love your enemies. He says separate. That's going into the beginning of what I was saying in the video. He made their ways diverse. Meaning he made them different. You see what I'm saying? And then he said in Ecclesiastes chapter 6 from the Apocrypha, chapter 6 and verse 13. Separate thyself from thy enemies and take heed of thy friend. That's what the Bible said. He said separate. He didn't say go and join them. The Most High didn't say go and join. Now let's go and let's read. A lot of people say that God came back for everybody, right? Well, we're going to read this. Matthew chapter 15 and verse 24. But he answered and said unto them, I am not sent. That's in red writing, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He said he ain't sent nowhere but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Everybody in the world is not lost. So let's go, and I'm going to show you another what I was talking about with this person earlier. Let's go and look at it. This is David's son Solomon. David was talking to Solomon, I think it was, because David was getting ready to die. Let's read it. Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die. And he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. See, we got to, like they said, we got to raise these little boys is to be a man, right? And then that's why it's impossible. The girl need her father too. You see what I'm saying? They need their fathers as well too. So that balances it out in the home. So the reason why it's important for the male to be there, the male influence to be there, for that girl will know what type of man to look for when she's a grown woman. You see what I'm saying? But we know how it is in Esau's kingdom. Esau is telling you it's against the law, is to chastise your child. We're not talking about beating abuse. We talking about beating means correct. Is another word. We talking about correcting you. When it says If thou beatest him with the rod, thou shalt deliver his soul from hell. Now, David was getting ready to die. And he put Solomon in charge. Said, now I'm getting ready to leave. But I want you to do one thing for me. I go the way of all the earth. Be thou, be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. How do you be a real man? What is the definition of a real woman in a real man? Now this is also can apply to the woman too. They're just speaking specifically to the man as well. But the woman, that doesn't mean that the woman can't learn from this here. Because when they talk about the man being a leader and leading, it's talking about the man is is living a life that would be not a bad influencer, but that he would do righteous things. And the children or the people in this neighborhood can see that's what that's what a man is. This is what a woman, this is what a parent should be. You see what I'm saying? That's what a parent should be. You feel what I'm saying? Verse First Kings chapter 2 and verse 2. I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. Now, how do you do that? It's going to give the answer. And keep the charges of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments. And the commandment, that's part of it. But you have the world telling you that, well, all children don't need to be chastised. You don't have to do every child. So you mean to tell me you're saying that you don't have to teach them God's commandments? You still have a duty is to teach them the commandments of God and his judgment and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, whithersoever thou turnest thyself. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 5. Oh, I came right to it. All praises. I got it right there as soon as I said it. Ecclesiastes in the King James Bible. You can find this in the King James Bible. Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 5. Whoso keepeth the commandments shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerning both time and judgment. The Bible says, I'm going to read it again. Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 5. Whoso keepeth the commandments shall feel no evil thing. The Most High say, if you keep the commandments, you're not gonna be you ain't gonna have no reason to be scared or afraid because you're doing what the Most High asks you to do. He protects you from all things. This is a promise. This is in the in Ecclesiastes in the King James Bible. Whoso keepeth the commandments shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerning both time and judgment. That's how you fear the Lord. Keep the commandments. Look, people, I'm not telling y'all nothing that I'm not doing. I'm not doing that. I'm telling you something that I'm putting in practice. I'm not just telling you anything. You know, there is so much more about this subject. It's so many, it's hundreds and hundreds of scriptures that talks about keeping the commandments. From the Old Testament to the New Testament, it's telling our people is to keep the commandments. So I'm gonna go ahead on. I'm gonna get up out of here. Hopefully y'all got something out of that little bit. Somebody put up under my comment one time. They said that I need to do my research before I start talking. I don't understand they saying that when clearly I got my stuff here, and I do read, and and not only that, but I do put it into. I don't just get on camera line. This is a Zenodo Compact Bible Dictionary. I use that, and I talk about the definition of ham, and I got my Bible, and I got my other stuff over references and stuff. So I do everything in my power is to keep the commandments of God. I'm not sitting up here bullshitting and playing. I don't do that. I ain't got time for that. So on that note, I'm gonna get up out of here. Our people has a white Caucasian mindset. That's the title of the video, and I'm out.